Alright, part number 2. I'm gonna explain how you can chain jobs together, or just have multiple ones, one of them in a logical order, and just make our pipeline a tiny bit complex, and just explain how everything works together. So you can see that I have a second repo, still empty, and still cloned on my local machine. So let's create the same test dot add dot py up very quickly. I'm just gonna copy paste it from the previous example, and now we're gonna also, in addition to the test, we're gonna have a very small executable. Again, very silly example. So it's just some code that crashes. So returns an error, a status code that is non-zero. That's important for CI/CD because the job is marked as failed if the status code of the last of one of the commands is non-zero. So here we have our two Python file, and let's create a gitlab.yaml, and let's make it a bit more complex. So stages will be, we will still have a test stage, we will have a run stage where we will run our executable, and let's just make a silly last stage like goodbye. In real life, this would be more like once you've tested your application, you want to deploy it to somewhere, meaning you want to create a container or create a package or something like this. But this is a bit too advanced, so we have just a goodbye stage. And so let's copy paste again the test stage. So this is the test job that will be in the test stage, and this is exactly the same thing, just runs PyTest. And here we are gonna add a second job to the test stage called format. And the thing it will do, it will still be part of the test stage, but it will run the black formatter on our code to make sure it's formatted. Then the two last stage will be rather simple. We will have one job in the run stage that will just run our executable, and we will just have a silly say goodbye job in the goodbye stage, which will just output some message. Let's commit all that up. Git commit message, add the main and test, like so. And let's push that to master. And I'll pause the recording and get back to you when it's done. All right, it seems that like the test job is done. So as you can see, we have here 3 stages. We have test, then run, then goodbye. And each of those can contain one or more jobs. And you can see, for example, the test stage has 2 jobs, format and test. And here, for example, format failed as accepted, expected. Oh yes, I forgot one little thing. I forgot to specify the Docker image, of course. And you don't have to specify, you can specify the Docker image per job, but you can also specify a default Docker image at the very top, like so. So you can do just Python 3 alpine, like so. And let me just fix my silly mistake and get back to you. All right. So same result as last time, so they still failed, but this time there was a Docker image and they failed for the correct reason, meaning the formatting is incorrect and the test is not passing. So yeah, as you can see, same, that's the result we basically expect. So to fix that, first let's, for example, fix the unit test by removing the test that fails, and then let's run a black on the content of every Python file here. Let's update this and fix formatting and fix test, push. And you see that in our CI/CD pipeline, if the stages are in serial order. So if one of the job of an earlier stage fails, the jobs of the next stage won't run. So you can see that here run and goodbye were both skipped, so not executed. You can modify those later, meaning that you can specify that one job depends on only one job and not the whole stage, but by default it's like this. And so yeah, let's see the new pipeline I've run. So here you can see I fixed the formatting and the test, but and then so they both passed, and so it goes on to the next stage, which is run, and you can see that the run job failed because of course I have a runtime error in it. And let's now fix our main.py. Main.py commit fix main.py. Like so. Let's push. And let's get back to our pipeline. So it's done. This is this one. And you can see that the whole pipeline is marked as passed because every single job in that pipeline passed. So we fixed the run, and so run now just doesn't error out. And we can see that the job again in the next stage, which is goodbye, executed, and it passed as well. And so if the last job of the last stage passed, the whole pipeline is marked as passed, and your commit is marked as passed as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we can like change jobs and separate them into stages. So yeah, that was a more realistic example of what you can do with pipelines. And yeah, see you in the next one.